Hello, I'm Vanessa and I run several jewelry courses in London, and today we're going to make some jewelry. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make hemp jewelry. Okay, to start with, you decide on the final length of your bracelet and then you double your string. So I have two pieces of hemp string here. One that's very, very long, which is 4 times the length of the final bracelet. And then I have another piece, which is twice the length of the final hemp bracelet. Take the ends of the longer string, like that, make a loop, and then take the shorter string, get the ends together, and make a loop, put both loops together, like that, so you have both loops are lined up. Now I will twist these two loops together tightly, hold them quite tightly and firmly, and then wrap them around a pencil. You could secure your pencil in a vice grip, this little tool here, or you could tape it onto a bench. And the first step is I'm holding the knots very tightly, and I take the two outer lengths, which would be the longer strings. I start off by taking the first string on the right hand side and pass it under the shorter string, like such. And then the next string, the longer one, will go over. So I have the string on the right under the middle strings, the shorter strings, and the string on the left over. Now I will pass the string on the left under the one on the right and pass the string on the right through the string on the left and pull it tightly. It's the same step repeated over and over again. So the longer string on the right goes under the middle strings, the string on the left, which is again the longer one, goes over like that. I take the one on the left, I pass it under the one on the right, and the one on the right, which comes there, I pull it through and pull it tightly. I'm going to do 3 of these knots. Now I'm going to thread in a bead. I have these big beads. You will need a bead that has a very big hole because the strings are a little bit thick. They're about 1 millimeter. So combined you have 2 millimeters. I'm going to thread the string through the middle, the shorter ones, and then I continue the same step. It's very quick once you get going, get into rhythm. So I will do again 3 knots. That's 2. And 3. You have to continue to pull the middle string to ensure that it is very tight and secure. I'm going to thread another bead through. You could use a variety of beads. You could use wooden beads, plastic beads, glass beads. These are glass beads, but you will need beads that have very big holes. Perhaps you could even try threading in buttons. Should be very nice. You might need 5 or 6 beads for a bracelet. And you can buy hemp in a big roll in any garden supply shop or hardware shop. You could also dye the hemp with natural dyes. You could use coffee, you could use tea. You can make up a mixture of coffee or tea and soak the hemp for a few minutes. The nice thing about the hemp is it allows you to make the knots really tight. as the hemp has some texture. It keeps the knot once you've made it. Okay, I think this is my last bead. So I'm going to do a few extra knots as it's the end. So as you reach the end, you will notice that your string has become very short. So my outer string, which were 4 times the length of the final bracelet, is now very short, and the middle string remains the same. It's best to overcompensate and make your strings longer rather than shorter, because you don't want to be halfway through a bracelet and find that you've run out of string. Okay. So I can put one final bead, and this will be the bead for my clasp at the end. I'm going to make an ordinary knot, which is just a loop knot or an overhand knot. And put that knot through there. Just made it slightly above the bead because I want to then do a very quick knot here to finish off. So I've made one knot. Okay. That knot that I've just made has just gone just above the knot that I've made in the middle strings. I'm going to make a final knot. Okay, so the final knot, you knot all 4 strands together and push it up with your finger to ensure that it's very tight. You don't want your beads to come loose. And that's your finish. The string you will need needs to be double the length of your necklace. I'm making a very long necklace, and I have doubled the string. As we will be doing knotting, it requires lots of extra string. To start off, the end, I've lined up the strings together. I have the 2 ends together. I'm going to put one bead inside one of the strings and knot the 2 strings together. For the first knot here, again I'm going to take both strings and knot it together. It's just a simple overhand knot, like that. And I use my finger, the knot is fairly loose, I use my finger to push the knot together tightly so that it's close to the bead. So once you've knotted the 2 strings together above that first bead, you wrap it around your doming punch, pulling it tightly, ensuring that your knot is sitting in the middle of your doming punch or your whatever tool you are using. And on the other side, you take the string on the right, for me it's my blue string, pass it under the string on the left, which is the purple string, bring the blue string over the purple string, and then it goes back under the blue string again on the right. Pull that through. This is called an overhand knot. Pull it tightly and use your fingers to push the knot quite tightly together. Now on the purple string, that's probably the most difficult part about making this bracelet, is the first knot. I'm going to thread in a bead. You could put in as many beads as you wish. I'm using 1 bead for this particular one. I'm going to knot above the bead, the same exact knot that's repeated. The blue string, the one on the right, goes under the purple, then over, and then into this loop. Again, I'm applying a lot of tension under my left string, using my fingers to push the knot very tightly to the bead, making another knot. You can make as many knots as you wish. I'm going to make 3 knots. And I'm going to thread in another bead. I'm using the punch to give me some gaps in between the beads. So I'm going to make another knot, the same exact knot as I've been doing. Again, the beads need to sit in the middle of the doming punch. I'm making 3 knots. I'm going to continue to thread 3 beads. Just 1 bead. I've made 3 knots below that last bead. I'm going to slip this out again. I'm creating a pattern so that you will have 3 beads, a gap, 3 beads, a gap, and another 3 beads. Okay, I've made 3 beads. So now you would repeat the same pattern until you reach your desired length. And the pattern again is you have 3 beads, you leave a space, which the dowel pin gives you the space. If you want to have a smaller gap in between, a smaller circle, you could use a smaller tool. If you want to have a larger circle, then use a larger tool. So have space, 3 beads, a space, 3 beads, and you could repeat that throughout. And that's how you make hemp jewelry.